Alright everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we are playing at Wrexham Golf Club. This golf club I've played a handful of times, like 3 or 4 times in the past. I think the last time I played here was probably over a year or two ago. So I am familiar with this course, but you know, I don't know it inside and out. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this course actually. I think we played back in December now. It was definitely before Christmas. So, you know, it's winter golf. The conditions aren't amazing. However, I was actually really pleasantly surprised at how great the greens were, to be fair. I mean, it definitely caught me by surprise. What you can tell with my chipping and putting throughout this video, I just couldn't get used to the speed, to be fair. Like, I mean, this chip shot wasn't too bad. I mean, I played this first hole really nicely, surprisingly. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad chip. So I ended up just about 12 foot away, yeah, 10, 12 foot away for the birdie. As you can tell, I didn't quite roll it in, but it was still a nice roll. And I got the par to start with, so that's not too bad. But if we move on to the next tee, this is where, I mean, it's kind of a good example of where my game today let me down, especially considering usually the driving is the better part of my game. And unfortunately, this is kind of what I was doing throughout this round. I mean, you can't. I mean, I suppose you can't really tell properly, but the line is quite a way to the left. So I ended up being way down this bank. I was fortunate not to end up in that thick stuff, but I kind of had a bit of a blind shot here. I ran up to the top and stuff, but I still wasn't quite sure where I was aiming. So I had a 9-iron in, and I just was, yeah, way offline. It ended up being quite a way to the left in this thick stuff. So it was quite a hard shot, to be fair, and just duffed it out. I mean, I wasn't too bothered by it, but I just put it back onto the green, and it wasn't the best putt. So now I've got this one for the bogey, which unfortunately I just miss. So follow up with a double. I mean, it's nothing too bad, but again, following up onto this third hole, wild off the tee. So usually, like I said, my driving is the best part of my game. I can rely on that most of the time. So when my driving isn't too great and I'm leaving myself really difficult shots into the greens and stuff, you know, if I'm ended up being on the side of the green in the rough and stuff, having to chip or pitch on, my chipping and putting isn't too great. I mean, sometimes it's not too bad, but a lot of the time it's not amazing. So unfortunately, I can't rely on my short game to bail me out when my driving is poor. So this is why, I mean, I suppose the first 4 holes they weren't too bad, but definitely towards the end of, well, the front 9, you're gonna see why this video is titled the way it is. So moving on to the 4th hole, which is a really nice downhill par 3. Hit a great shot. Unfortunately, the tracer didn't get it, but this was all over the flag in terms of the line. I was just a little bit long. I didn't really take the downhill factor enough into this, so it ended up pitching. I mean, it must have pitched over the flag, just quite a bit long. So I knew it was going to be really fast down this hill, so I just trickled it down there. Pace-wise, it was actually really good, as you'll see, but I just didn't read it too great. So I've still got a little bit of work to do, but fortunately I make the par. So yeah, after 4 holes, 3 over, not too bad at all. But this, I suppose, from this hole on is where you're gonna see just see me fall apart, to be fair. And again, the short tracer didn't get it. I think because it was a bit overcast and it's a bit white sky and stuff, the tracer wasn't working too great. But I'm leaving myself, especially into these like trickier holes, just not easy shot in. I mean, this hole isn't too easy anyway, in my opinion, but got a hybrid uphill, and I just pulled it. Fortunately, I managed to find it, and I had a shot in, but just a little pokey chip out. And I thought I played this okay, but again, just the greens are running so well that it was just, yeah, too hard. And now I've got this for the par, and I mean, as you can tell from where I am, it would be a really good putt if I make this. And just out of the rough, just a little bit on the soft side. And because my driving and stuff usually is what I can rely on, like I've said before, when it's not going to plan, yeah, this is where I lose my cool. And I just, well, to be fair, this is always going to be a 6-iron off the tee, because I mean, it's a really hard, really hard shot with the driver, this par 5, because I mean, you're gonna have to do it really long, but it's actually a tight little spot to hit it over the trees anyway. So I hit a 6-iron, doesn't go to plan. I hit the 4 hybrid, and somehow I managed to actually, well, make this work. It must have clipped the top of the tree and just fallen into this gap. So it was fortunately okay. Actually hit a really nice shot here, high draw into this par 5, and I ended up catching it so well, it ended up being long. So again, I mean, it's not really a tricky chip, to be fair. Just a little chip and run, and should be okay. I think as soon as I hit it, I knew it was a little bit too long anyway, but as soon as it caught this downslope by the flag, and it didn't hit the pin or anything, it was always going to be rolling off the green. So yeah, it just didn't. It just wasn't quite working out for me so far. This hole is a really hard hole if you've never played here. I mean, to be fair though, if you do hit a decent drive, I hit it too far right, but if you hit it just on the right side, it's always going to sort of hit the slope, come back down the fairway. Fortunately, I was too far right, and I wanted to hit just a layup, I mean, back into the fairway, but I clipped the tree and it just, you know, just ricocheted right back into the trees, so I had to do provisional back in the fairway. So I mean, as you can tell, I'm really losing my cool at this point. Another duff shot. Fortunately, I didn't hit in the bunker, but at this point, because nothing's really going my way, and yeah, I kind of thinned this one a little bit long. I'm just throwing my clubs about. I mean, it is kind of embarrassing watching back. I wish, I mean, I think I just put too much pressure on myself, to be honest, especially when I'm filming, because I want to make videos where I'm playing well, obviously, but at the end of the day, this is what golf's about. You're never going to play well all the time. Well, most of the time, you're going to play not to your handicap. I mean, that's what the handicap's for. So, to be fair, especially, I mean, just watch this tee shot. So, quite an easy par 3, only 130 yards, and I just duffed it, well, topped it really, into these trees. So I'm hitting a reload off the tee, third shot, the pitching wedge, and I fin it into the hill at the back of the green. And like I said, I was kind of tempted to not poke this round, to be honest, but this is what real golf is about. So anyway, this ended up being quite a nice chip, to be honest. There was no way I was going to be hitting that anywhere like short of the flag. So to end up being like 6-7 foot away, it was quite a nice little chip down that hill. So trying to roll this in for the double now, unfortunately, but we do end up rolling it in. So after that, I was quite happy with that up and down, to be honest. That was kind of the only time my chipping and putting worked for me all throughout this round. So to get a 5 there, I was pretty pleased about, and I think my confidence was up a bit because I ended up hitting, well, except for the first hole, actually my only drive that was actually decent and in the middle of the fairway. So I've got this just like 90, 100 yard pitch, half pitch shot in, and I actually played this really nice, really smooth swing. Thought it was going to be closer than that, but unfortunately it was a little bit long. As you can tell by the flag, it's just a bit downwind, so I think that's what it was, and obviously like firmer greens is what I was expecting. And yeah, just 25-30 foot away, and it was just missed Lewis's ball there actually. And yeah, just ended up being long. So I've still got work to do for the par putt, and unfortunately I just scraped the hole. So yeah, anything with a 3-putt was kind of disappointing, to be fair, but it kind of summed up the round. And like I said, I was kind of tempted not to post this because 12 over par after 9 holes is definitely not to my handicap. I think I was like 5 or 6 over my handicap. But, you know, that's what golf is a lot of the time. And I think a lot of you watching can probably relate to having these bad rounds. So I thought you might enjoy it because I don't play to my handicap or under my handicap all the time at all. To be honest, I think most of my videos I'm actually played well in. But yeah, this is what golf's all about, and as you can tell from Lewis missing his putt as well, you can definitely relate. So this is what golf's all about. There's going to be plenty more videos coming up this year. I know it's winter time now, so it might be a little bit tricky for the next month or so, but there's going to be plenty of videos coming. So if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do so if you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Cheers. See you later.